Hi guys, my name is Lucia and today I will be showing you my updated makeup inventory for March of 2018. Now I just posted my realistic makeup collection and storage video. If you guys have missed that, I will link it down below. If you've not seen a makeup inventory before, this is where I tell you by number how many products I have in my collection going from each category. I will talk about the last time I did this video and how my numbers have changed since then. The last video was actually really interesting because that was the first time I had ever filmed a makeup inventory, but I had been keeping track of it for a year and a half before that. So in that video, you got to see my numbers greatly decrease from my beginning of project panning and decluttering to that point. I will link that video down below if you are interested. I know it made me really excited and surprised to see the numbers go down so much. I will let you guys know that I am expecting a PR package from a brand very soon. So these numbers are subject to change, but I wanted to let you guys know before I start receiving PR, these are the numbers that I have in my collection. I also just wanted to say, before I get into the numbers, that it's not always great to get super caught up in the numbers. I got super stressed out about my makeup inventory numbers around the holidays because I really wanted to venture more into colorful eyeshadows and I wanted to buy some colorful palettes, and I freaked out. I was like, you can't buy any more palettes. You already own palettes. You can't have more. What'll people think in your makeup inventory? And I was unhappy. You have to remember, the numbers don't matter when you're doing your makeup and when you get ready in the morning. The numbers are just for your spreadsheet and your video, and that's it. They're for you. So definitely don't get freaked out about the numbers. They're not everything. My numbers are still very small, even though a couple of them have expanded a little bit. I'm not worried about that, and you guys should also not be too worried about the numbers. Let's get right on into it. Last time I filmed this, it was August 14th of 2017, and the day that I'm filming this, it is February 28th, but we'll just say March because you're seeing it in March. Starting out for face primers, last time I had one, now I have two. I used up the primer I had last time, and I use every day the Fenty Beauty primer, but I do have this Cover FX sample that I will hopefully use up soon. For eye primer, I had one, and now I have one. This is almost gone, so I will need a new one soon, but I don't think you need more than one eye primer. They all do the same thing, which is prime your eyes, and you know, it's not like face primer where some are pore filling and some are mattifying. I just think eye primer is eye primer. For foundation, I had one and now I had one. I had a Revlon foundation that I absolutely hated. I never used it, so I got rid of it, and now I have the Fenty foundation, which I really like. For concealer, I had two and now I had one. I was able to use up the Maybelline concealer in the fall. I really like to only have one or two of these base products. For me, I go through concealer one at a time. Concealer is not the type of thing, in my opinion, it's not different enough for me to switch between two as if it is for blush or something like that. For face powder, I had one and now I have two. I was actually using the Maybelline powder as my under eye setting powder, and I hate it that way. So I switched it over to be in my face powder section, and I really like it that way. I am now trying to use up the Rimmel powder so I can just have the Maybelline powder. For under eye powder, I had one and now I have one. So I had the Maybelline one and now I have the Mercier one. For bronzer, I had two, now I have four. Soon after my last makeup inventory, I had three bronzers because I switched one of my products from a blush to a bronzer, and I was able to use up as much of that as I could get on my brush. So I had back to two, and now I have received two bronzers from Octoly, so now I am at four. The Bahama Mama bronzer is a contour, but I don't have a separate category for contours. That's not really how I think about them, so yeah, that's just one category. For blush, I had seven, now I have three. I used up a blush, decluttered a couple blushes, and then I had that one product that I moved from being a blush to being a bronzer. For bronzers and blush, I don't feel like I need that many. I'm pretty good with three blushes, and for bronzers, I don't even need four. I'll probably declutter the Smashbox one relatively soon, maybe. For highlighters, I had eight, and now I have eight. I count these by pan. So I had an e.l.f. highlighter, which I decluttered, but I got the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. I do have a highlighter in my BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette, but I've never used it as a highlighter. I don't like the way it has looked on other people as a highlighter, and I just have no interest in using it as a highlighter, so I didn't want to count it in this category because that's not how I use it, even if technically that's what it is. For glitter and glitter glue, last time I had 1 glitter and 1 glitter glue. This time I have 2 glitters and 1 glitter glue. I consider my Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadow to be a glitter and not a single eyeshadow because I don't use it as a single eyeshadow. I would never put it all over my lid. I use it the same way you would use glitter. For single eyeshadows, now I don't count my single eyeshadows that are in my Z palette as singles. When I say single, I mean it is a single shadow and it has its own packaging and you can't just pop it into a Z palette. It is a standalone product. I had 5 and now I have 0. So I don't have any single shadows anymore. They either are all decluttered or living in a Z palette. For my eyeshadow palettes, I had 3, now I have 5. If you guys saw my Pan That Palette finale, you will know I decluttered the Naked palette and I got 3 eyeshadow palettes for the holidays. And I count my total eyeshadow pans, so these are everything in my palettes and then in my little miscellaneous ColourPop magnetic palette. I had 60, now I have 92, which would make sense. It's actually surprising that it's not more than that because the BH Cosmetics palette has 25 shadows in it. This was the number that was stressing me out. This was the number that I was like, oh my god, I can't have 92 eyeshadows. That's terrible. And now I don't care. It's not that many. It's only 5 palettes. I rotate them all the time. It's fine. For eyeliner, I had 2 and now I have 1. I can't even remember which one I had, but it clearly wasn't that important because I got rid of it. For mascara, I had 1 opened, now I have 2. I had 4 backups, and now I have 1 backup. I do not care about this category. I will never have more than 2 mascaras open at a time, really ever. So it's not a problem, and if I have backups, to me that's great because then that's another, 7 months I don't have to buy any mascaras. For lipstick, I had 10, now I have 7. At one point I had 5 and then it went back up to 10. I have since used up 2 and decluttered 1, so it is back to 7 and I'm fine with 7 lipsticks. If I get a couple more, it's not going to be the end of the world. I will say when I only had 5, I was pretty bored because only 3 of them I would say were everyday shades and that was boring. So I like to have variety, but 7 is good for me. For lip glosses, I had 1 and now I have 0. I had the Buxom lip gloss, I think in Dolly, and now I use that up and I don't love lip gloss, so I didn't repurchase any. Setting spray, I had 1, still have 1. Boring. Now, this is the part that shocked me. I guess because I was so focused for so long on freaking out about how many eyeshadows I had and getting new palettes, for some reason in my mind, all my numbers went up and I was thinking that I now have way more products than I had last time I did this, and I don't know, I wasn't worried about that, but I was definitely surprised at the number. So last time my total products, and when I say total products, I count everything by the actual product. So my Anastasia Glow Kit with 6 highlighters, I just count that as one thing. So each entity is 1. I had 50 last time and now I am down to 35. I have 35 makeup pieces in my collection and that is so exciting. Now, as I said, I know that I am about to receive a PR thing. Those numbers will go up, but I have had these numbers for many months and I think it is so exciting. I'm so proud of myself. Whatever happens with my numbers in the future with PR, I just want to acknowledge that I got down to this point. I got down to 35 products and I am so proud of that. If you guys have never done a makeup inventory, I really encourage you to do it. It can be super eye-opening. Sometimes you just have no idea how much of something you have until you count it out. Alright guys, that was everything. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.